YouTube, how's it going? The Goat House is back. We got an updated NFL mock draft. Some players rising up the board, falling down. We have the Senior Bowl and the Combine coming up not too far away here, and that'll obviously change some things as well. So excited to continue to update these here throughout the offseason. We have full offseason coverage, so not just the draft, free agency as well, covering the playoffs right now, covering the head coaching madness as well. Follow our Twitter for constant updates, rumors, and more. Link pinned in the comment section for that, as well as recent videos. So make sure you join us for all that content. Be much appreciated. Here's our Twitter. Yep, some updates on some coaching staffs here. So check it out. Let's go on to the mock. Got Evan Neal at the top, tackle from Alabama. It's our first mock since the national championship. We actually had one the day of the national championship game. Evan Neal helped himself as well. I keep talking about it, though. Free agency is going to tell us a lot about the Jags. Cam Robinson, their left tackle, is a free agent, was playing on the franchise tag. If they re-sign him, they probably don't go left tackle. If they don't, and they don't add a quality starting left tackle, they are probably going left tackle. So free agency should be pretty telling. I guess it doesn't guarantee they stay at one, though. They could trade back and get a tackle or maybe a receiver. They could stay put, tackle, or pass rusher. So it's going to start with free agency for every team. But for the Jags, it could tell us a bit here for what they could possibly do. So go Evan Neal there. And there's a couple other offensive linemen, even tackles, that could be in that conversation with the Jags at one. Or, again, like I said, they could trade back. But Lions go Aiden Hutchinson, edge rush for Michigan. They definitely need more pass rush help. Hutchinson fits kind of where they're taking their defense. After they made the coaching change last year, so kind of fits the scheme there, which I think he fits about any scheme, but that would definitely upgrade them in terms of their pass rush. So interesting scenario. I've always had a pass rusher go one, and now we see the realistic scenario of a tackle like Evan Neal going one. Again, very realistic, so it definitely changes things. So no more pass rusher 1-2. It pushes one down to the Houston Texans at 3. Texans have a lot of needs. They can go a lot of different routes here. We'll see who they hire as a coach. It should be pretty soon. They just make that decision. We got the coaches starting to come off the board here earlier this morning with the Bears and the Broncos. But in this scenario, I'm pretty confident the Texans would take Kayvon Thibodeau from Oregon. Fits at defensive end in their scheme. I guess that's the other question. Do they keep Lovie Smith? Do they keep that scheme? Do they hire a defensive guy like Jonathan Gannon, and then he's running the defense? He would fit either way. So I guess maybe it depends if they bring somebody else that's a complete scheme change, going back to their old scheme. That might look bad because they moved on from some players that fit that scheme. But confident Thibodeau would fit them in this scenario. It would be very tough, regardless who their defensive coordinators, head coaches, for them to pass on Kayvon Thibodeau there. The Jets go with Ken McWanu, offensive tackle from NC State. I think he's in the conversation for the top pick. I mean, this is a nasty blocker at the left tackle position, polished in terms of his run blocking, and really picked it up as pass protector this year as well. So very talented. Probably peg him at right tackle with Mekhi Becton at left. Pretty interchangeable there. I like that too. So the Jets getting their offensive line, it's starting to look real good too. Factor in Elijah Vera Tucker, who finished the season very strong at the guard position. So the Jets starting to get that offensive line together for Zach Wilson. Giants go Charles Cross, tackle for Mississippi State, who's also in the conversation with Evan Neal and Ekwonu for the top tackle spot in this draft. So it was actually yesterday it came out that the Giants really want to build around Daniel Jones. So does that mean they're for sure not going quarterback? They're for sure building around Daniel Jones? Absolutely not. Doesn't for sure mean that. It doesn't mean the opposite, though. So that it happens every single offseason as long as NFL football has existed. Somebody in the organization comes out, says, we're keeping this quarterback, we're not getting a quarterback, and people out there insist that that's 100% for sure the situation, not smoke, and then the team goes and drafts or signs or trades for a quarterback. So for right now, since we do a lot of mock drafts, we're going to go based off what we believe right now, what's going on right now. And it sounds like, I believe that they want Daniel Jones to work, but that doesn't mean they're going to not do their homework on quarterbacks and pass up on getting better at quarterback. If they like the right one, they'll take him. So it's definitely possible. But right now, it feels like it's not a guarantee, but they want to work with Daniel Jones here, build around him. So we'll mock that way since we do plenty of different scenarios in mock drafts anyways. So we'll go Charles Cross sitting here, next best tackle. Pair him with Andrew Thomas. Looks pretty good. They do want to beef up that interior, though, as well, so that would be key. Panthers go Kenny Pickett, quarterback from Pittsburgh. I'm still going through all the film and the evaluation process, so a long ways to go. But I think there's definitely a couple other quarterbacks that, in my conversation for top quarterback, maybe even over Kenny Pickett. But as of right now, it sounds like most of the league, very early stage, has Kenny Pickett at the top. So expected, again, at the way too early stage, to be the first quarterback off the board. Panthers, I still think they will. What they're in their mind right now, I really think they want to go get a veteran, polished quarterback. Darnold was a little bit of a project. Cam Newton's a little washed up, obviously. A rookie is a little bit of a project. Matt Rule on thin ice. They bring Ben McAdoo in. Is that a guy that's going to work with the younger guy? You almost want a polished guy for a change here for the Panthers. That's what I think they want to do. Will they get the job done? They will be in on Deshaun Watson again. Will he play for them? Remember, he has a no-trade clause. Do they have the best offer? They have the 6th overall pick, so that helps. So we'll see if they land Deshaun Watson or anybody else. I think that'll be their angle. Will they get the job done? So give a scenario here where maybe they don't get the job done and they're forced to draft a quarterback here and they have their pick of the first quarterback off the board here, of any quarterback. So go Kenny Pickett there, which I think Kenny Pickett, I'd say between him and I'd say Kenny Pickett may be like more of the pro-ready type. The questions will be, there's going to be staffs out there that don't love the idea of the quarterback wearing the gloves. Whether you believe it or not, some people won't like that. So how will the Panthers feel? That is the question. So the Giants got another pick here, this one from the Bears. And they go Kyle Hamilton. They could look to go quarterback. Maybe they want to build around Daniel Jones. Could look to go linebacker here, pass rush. Kyle Hamilton's still on the board here. Pretty intriguing. You take a look at their safety position. Love me some Xavier McKinney. He looked real good. Breakout year this year. So that's the guy of the future. Jabril Peppers, injured and is also a free agent. Logan Ryan, maybe declining. Still could play. Maybe declining. And maybe his career's coming to an end, especially with the Giants. So pair Kyle Hamilton and Ryan can also play in the slot. Pair Kyle Hamilton, Xavier McKinney. It's a pretty damn good duo. See who they hire as their head coach. I'm liking Brian Flores for them. He really values these do-it-all type safeties. McKinney, Hamilton looks pretty damn good there. So I like the value here as well. Falcons go Jordan Davis. So I can see Jordan. There's a couple guys I can see going around here. David Ajabo could be another one, or maybe in the back end of the first. Davis could be one of those guys, because where do you value a nose tackle? It doesn't always have to line up at, right on the center, at the nose tackle position, but can move around a little bit. But I think, teams are looking for that, because there's a shortage on really good ones, and they're kind of taking over. You look at a guy like Vita Vea and the contract he just got, because he's a rare talent at nose tackle. Kenny Clark from the Packers, another one. DJ Reader from the Bengals, another one. These types of guys, teams are looking for them because there's a shortage on them. They want these guys, and you rather draft one that's a little cheaper than paying one big amount of money in free agency that's kind of a shot in the dark. So the Falcons looking to stop the run a little bit better. Grady Jarrett is a lot better than what people realize right now, and he needs some damn help, because this guy could be in the conversations of, I want to say Aaron Donald, but yeah, of Chris Jones and where Jeffrey Simmons is at, and DeForest Buckner. These guys, and people don't really realize that, but he's got to carry a lot in the defensive line. Needs some more help stopping a run. Plug in Jordan Davis with him. I like that a lot. And that defense, Dean Pease running that defense, I think you'll like it as well. They need pass rush. You get a little interior help here, but this is more worth the value of the 8th pick. Could go receiver, could go, they can go a lot of routes. They'll value corner, even though they're pretty good there, but maybe trying to pair an elite duo with A.J. Terrell. They can go a lot of routes here, the Falcons. But I like Jordan Davis. That made sense pairing with Grady Jarrett, because you get more out of stopping the run. You get more out of, your interior presence, but you get more out of a star player. And people probably won't call Grady Jarrett a star player, but I do. You can get that out of Grady Jarrett here. So I'd like that pick. Next group of teams, Broncos go Matt Corral, quarterback, Ole Miss. Now, the Broncos this morning just hired Nathaniel Hackett. We already kind of figured they may be in on Aaron Rodgers sweepstakes here, and then hiring Nathaniel Hackett. They're going to go for it. I'm confident saying they're going to go for it. Now, there's a lot of people out there maybe getting a little too confident that they'll actually get him. I'd say it's a possibility. It's pretty early. Don't get overly confident. I put the Packers and the Broncos at the top right now. But for right now, they could be looking for the quarterback of the future. Matt Corral, I view as a pretty safe pick. where, it's weird because I view him as a safe guy, but there are some risk part of his game. So it's maybe it sounds a little contradicting, but I'll explain. Risky part is, he's a good runner. He can run, but the way he runs, his style, he takes a lot of hits, and we saw him get hurt in that bowl game. So how does that play out in the NFL, taking all those hits? So that is, I guess, do you worry about the health for him? Kind of a question. One injury doesn't say yes, you do. It's just the collection of him taking a lot of hits there. But why I think he's a safe quarterback is he just fits today's era. He can escape pressure. He can use his legs to throw or to run. He's pretty accurate. He has the deep ball. He has the big play ability. These teams get these guys that just don't have they're conservative. They don't have the big play ability downfield, but maybe they're accurate underneath. They can escape the pressure. They can run. And then some teams get the guys that can make the big play downfield, but they can't escape the pressure. They can't do these. They can't read pressure. And then I think you get the total package with Matt Corral. So I think it's a pretty safe quarterback here. So the Broncos grab him. My phone's going off like crazy, so we'll see what's going on there. A lot of coaching hires should start to come out the board here. The Broncos got their guy. They could be in play for Aaron Rodgers. For right now, I do like Corral for them. Jets go Devin Lloyd. I haven't really seen this mocked. I haven't seen a whole bunch of mocks. Seen Daniel Jeremiah as we reacted to that. But I haven't seen the Jets go for a linebacker. I like that idea. Now, first glance, the Jets they're pretty solid at linebacker. Got some guys that can play. But Robert Saleh's scheme, most important spot might be, maybe edge rush and then linebacker, looking for that big-time standout linebacker that can do a bit of everything, supporting the run game in pass coverage. Devin Lloyd's that guy. This is more of that, over Nakobe Dean, over Christian Harris. This is more of that Robert Saleh scheme type linebacker that has a lot of upside for the NFL. So I think even though they got some linebackers, where's C.J. Mosley going? Yeah, I think he'll be on the team this next year. But after that, where's it going? I think this really elevates the Jets defense. A linebacker like this, today's type of linebacker, I really think it elevates this defense. So I like that one a lot. Washington goes Sam Howell. They'll be looking for a veteran corner this offseason. I like Sam Howell. I might be a little higher on him than where people are talking. He's got the arm talent downfield. He makes some tightrope throws that are very tough to make. I like his... He's a strong kid. He breaks sacks. He breaks tackles as a runner as well, but it is a tough dude to sack, and maybe it's going to be a little easier for NFL guys, but it's a rare I look at, I look at guys like Josh Allen and Justin Herbert, not to compare him totally to them, but those are tough dudes to bring down, and I see a little bit of that in Sam Howell. Howell maybe got to do a little better job under pressure. To be one of those guys that I mentioned, maybe a little bit more accurate underneath, a little wild sometimes, tries to play that hero ball. I would like to see a Howell with the better offensive line, though. His offensive line was really bad this year. He lost all of his top weapons. Washington's offensive line played surprisingly well this year. I like Howell's upside here. And a big difference, those guys I mentioned, those star quarterbacks that I mentioned, Howell's a lot shorter than them. That's kind of the problem, 6'1". I don't really have a problem with that. If you can play, you can play. But I said this on Twitter too. If this guy was 6'4", I'm saying he would be the first pick in the draft. Not to the Jaguars, they would trade to pick. If Sam Howell, same resume, same everything, just 6'4" instead of 6'1", everybody would be drooling over this guy. I'm telling you. So it tells you the upside and the talent that he has. I think he fits. Yeah, he's not Josh Allen or Justin Herbert. It's very unlikely he's going to be those guys, Patrick Mahomes. But he has that similar style to him, just shorter and a little more wild. But Josh Allen was pretty damn wild at Wyoming, So I like Howell. I like him for Washington. The Vikings, Nakobe Dean, linebacker from Georgia. We'll see what the Vikings do with their defense or scheme, who they're bringing as the coach. But I think they need more linebacker help. It's kind of Eric Kendricks on an island out there. Anthony Barr was hurt. He's also a free agent because they changed his contract this past year. They're going to need more linebacker help. They couldn't really stop the run this year, which you expect them to be one of the better run-stopping defenses because you got Michael Pierce, you got Dalvin Tomlinson. The problem is you're good in the interior defensive line stopping the run, but once you get past that or around that, there was big problems. It's Eric Kendricks by himself, so you definitely need another linebacker there, and Nakobe Dean just brings a lot more in that too. Good in coverage, blitzing as well. Kendricks had to kind of take over some blitzing duties, which He was pretty good at it, actually, but it's not that ideal blitzing guy. You kind of want to keep him in coverage because he's so good in coverage. So you bring Dean in to help out Eric Kendricks a little bit there. So that made sense to me. We'll see. Things can change based on who they hire as a head coach or defensive offense coordinator. We'll see. Browns go Garrett Wilson. They need receiver help. It's a do-it-all type receiver for the Browns here, getting the ball underneath, downfield, very good after the catch. Ravens. Sounds like they may hire Michigan's defense coordinator, McDonald. So they not firm for sure yet, but it sounds like they will. So you got a Michigan guy, David Ojabo here. They moved on from Don Martindale. Don Martindale has built a specific scheme in there that you kind of got to have edge rushers that can drop back in coverage. Your inside linebacker is going to blitz a lot. They're going to change that. It's not going to be the case anymore. They have edge rushers. The guy like Tyus Bowser, who, believe it or not, is one of the best edge rushers at dropping back. I mean, he can also get after the quarterback as well. And then you got Odafe Away, who is pretty promising as a rookie and he's got a lot of upside. But what they're looking for now, compared to what they had in the past, is guys that can just straight up get after the quarterback and get him down on passing downs. And that is David Ojabo. The problem with him is he's got to work on his run-stopping play quite a bit. Michigan even had him off the field early downs. So that's not appealing. But in terms of his traits, his upside, and his play as a pass rusher, he looks like a way better pick, earlier pick than 14, but it kind of weighs him down a little bit. I mean, he would be in the conversation with Hutchinson and Thibodeau, honestly, but the run defense weighs him down a little bit, but the Ravens very good at teaching that. So I think they'll like him there. Upgrade, just more of the pure pass rush is what they need. Eagles 2 in a row. Ahmad Gardner, cornerback Cincinnati, a really good outing this year, especially against Alabama. We'll see if Jonathan Gannon gets a head coaching gig or not. Very well can. I was predicting him with the Texans. But I do think Gardner fits his defense, his scheme for sure there. So really liked his season. Then Treylon Burks. Eagles could definitely use another receiver to help out Devontae Smith and kind of get more of that big body guy that hasn't worked out for them in the past, but this is a guy that can do it all, has the speed, plays in the slot as well. So I like that as a fit there for what they need. Next group of teams here. Chargers go Devontae Wyatt, Georgia defensive tackle. So I know Chargers fans want. I hear their voice already. They want Jordan Davis. They want him. I think he could be going a little bit earlier. But Georgia's got another defensive tackle right next to him, his partner in crime, that is just as good. Jordan Davis, I think, being as big as he is, 340, and just how athletic he is. I mean, he's not crazy athletic, but for that size, I think that is wow, and it is wow, and his name gets blown up, and you forget about guys that are kind of just as good as him and Devontae Wyatt. So the Chargers definitely can use, and this actually, we'll see if they get Linval Joseph back, who's the nose tackle, and they have Jerry Tillery. He's been a little underwhelming at 3-4 end. Wyatt would make sense with Linval Joseph. If Linval Joseph's gone, maybe you want more of the Jordan Davis type, but Wyatt can move too. Lateral movement, quickness, pretty impressive. It's an underrated player at this point, so I like him for the Chargers a lot. Real good fit, in my opinion, helping stopping the run and getting interior pressure. I like Malik Willis for the Saints. I like a lot of these quarterbacks for the Saints. It's tough that Sean Payton's gone because Sean Payton's so good at working with these types of quarterbacks here, but I still like these types of quarterbacks for the Saints. Malik Willis, who's going to come in and produce on the ground. He has that wow play ability downfield. It's kind of like, another Jameis Winston type, but with a lot more running upside here. He's just got to calm down on his underneath throws, hit the layup throws, but he definitely needs some work reading defenses. Sometimes he won't see defenders and they'll bait him a little bit, just reading coverages in general. The Saints a pretty good spot for him there. But yeah, I could see Malik Willis even being the first quarterback off the board if teams trust their development programs because he's got that athletic ability, the escapability, the mobility, and the crazy downfield arm talent. He's got in terms of being consistent and reading defenses at NFL level, up here, he's got a little bit to go there. So that's why I have him more down here. George Karlaftis, the Eagles. I've had this quite a bit. Some people have him in the top 10. Not lack of athletic ability, but compared to the others, will it push it down because the edge rushers that are thriving are insanely athletic in today's NFL? So couldn't that push him down? But I like to fit with the Eagles. Is a good range for him. Brandon Graham, injured, maybe declining. He's still very good, though. But how much longer does he have left? Derek Barnett, a free agent. The Eagles, they got pressure, but they didn't actually get the quarterback down a lot this year. So get a guy like Karlaftis to help that. Steelers, I'm still thinking it's the Steelers. it's hard for me to see Mike Tomlin just going for kind of a project rookie or whatever it may be. They may make a push for Watson, Rodgers, whoever, because they want to win right now. But there are reports they may go rookie. So we'll play that scenario here. I think they'll like Carson Strong from Nevada here in this range. Strong, this is wild because Carson Strong, in terms of just arm talent, forget everything else, just arm talent. Carson Strong, to me, is the best in the entire class, arm talent. Now, here's the problem. Athleticism, escapability, mobility, lacking in that department. That kind of fits today's era. You want to be able to escape pressure. When he has and got outside the pocket, his arm talent doesn't look the same. So arm talent outside the pocket also needs work. Now, there are some teams that are just A-okay with that type of play because he has that crazy arm strength and talent. He's so good in the red zone, ball placement in the red zone. Man, it's real good. And he can get you in the red zone in one play with his arm talent, maybe in the end zone. So teams are going to love that. And, the Rams are still alive with that type of quarterback. And Matthew Stafford, the Steelers have had that type of quarterback for so long. So I think they'll appreciate Carson Strong. But so there are teams that'll, okay, it's not a big deal about the mobility, but here's the next problem is he's had some knee issues. So we'll see how that's just a wait and see here because the combine medical checks usually take care of that, and then we'll get more info there. But arm talent is legit, folks, here. So I think the Steelers will like him. Christian Harris, I like a lot, especially after that national championship game. That was probably the biggest riser at the national championship game because he had himself a ball game. This is that linebacker that's kind of a hybrid player. You got to use him like a Micah Parsons, in my opinion. Is he Micah Parsons? No. He has some similar traits to him. He's a hell of a ball player. You got to use him. You can't just stick him inside. You can use him inside. You blitz him from there. You put him off the edge. You like Bama did. He almost looks like he has more upside off the edge. It's kind of like Micah Parsons. He played inside, but we saw reps off the edge, and he's got some upside there, and that's the way the Cowboys use them both. So I like Harris that way. Patriots are known for using those types of unique linebackers like that, and their inside linebackers struggle a little bit this year, especially down the stretch, stopping the run. Tracking guys down like Josh Allen too, whether he's running inside or outside. Harris kind of fills all those boxes. You can play him inside. He has the range to get people down. You can get some blitz from him in the inside. You can play him off the edge and rush him. This is maybe it's kind of a younger, newer, athletic Jamie Collins type player here. So that's what I like with the Patriots. I think early to say, I think Christian Harris should go earlier in this. So I like him a lot, especially where today's league is heading, game's heading here. Derek Stingley, some talk about him being lower on teams' board than people think. He was damn good his freshman year and see the upside there. And talent doesn't really disappear, so that would be my take on why Stingley could go earlier. But hasn't played as well since. Raiders definitely looking for corners. They'd be happy to have Stingley Jr. here. Cardinals also looking for corners. Could go offensive line because they start to wear down at the end of the year. But they played a lot of man coverage. They played some man coverage this year. They played a lot more last year. They want to run man coverage. They didn't have the man coverage corners. McCreary is that man coverage corner. He's a pretty damn good one too. Coaches don't want to teach. They don't want to get corners that they have to teach man coverage to because you can't really coach man coverage. You can try to coach some press technique, but it's either you can man up on a guy and chase him and follow him and not making it a chasing game, cover him, or you can't. McCreary has that, so I like that for the Cardinals. Kenyon Green for the Cowboys. Cowboys offensive line continues to get beat up, and they kind of, they weren't too good. I kind of let them down in the 49ers game. Cowboys are very good at identifying good offensive linemen. They're very good at kind of recouping that talent before it's too late. So now would be the time before it's too late. Kenyon Green's a guy that can plug and play and start at guard for them. He also has a little bit of experience at tackle, which could be appealing to the Cowboys because if a guy goes down at tackle, maybe you feel comfortable sliding Kenyon Green out. So I really like that fit there. It's definitely something they can target. Next group of picks, Bills go Trent McDuffie, kind of a scrappy type corner. Another one of those scrappy type defensive backs from Washington. They're pumping those guys out like crazy. The Bills definitely can use another one. They were missing Tre'Davious White down the stretch of the playoffs there, and they could definitely use another one to pair with him. Bills are a pretty damn complete team. Some of their corners might be weaker than we think going into the Chiefs game. They end up being the case. So get another corner in there like McDuffie. It can help them out a lot. Titans go Jameson Williams. Jameson Williams can drop a little bit because he tore his ACL in the national championship game, but still extremely talented. Players are able to come back from those types of injuries better than ever, and it makes sense. In today's world, and the Titans would definitely need another receiver that can get separation. Just felt like, Julio getting injured, not really the same. It's a lot on A.J. Brown. Other guys got to execute, get separation. Titans definitely need another receiver here. Could look to find a quarterback of the future. If one drops, they trade up. We'll see. Buccaneers go Chris Olave. They need another receiver as well. Godwin got hurt. He's also a free agent. Definitely can make the a realistic case that he comes back. They get him back for sure. But he's a free agent right now. Antonio Brown's obviously gone. They definitely need another guy in there. Olave, I think they'll like kind of a do-it-all type receiver. Packers go Bernard Raymond, offensive tackle from Central Michigan. I like a plug-and-play at right tackle here for the Packers. Their offensive line didn't really seem the same as it usually was this year didn't seem the same this year as it was in the past due to injuries. Injuries kind of been a unfortunate theme for them. And then they got beat up there against the 49ers in the game that they got upset in. So they're another team that's kind of like, well, we got to get the offensive line together before it's too late. They're very good at identifying the talent as well. So they'll get that guy, get a guy in there at right tackle. Bengals go Tyler Linderbaum, interior offensive lineman from Iowa. Tough one because he's pretty rangy as well because he's so good, but how high do you take a center? I don't take a center that high. I just don't. You look at where the Chiefs plucked out Creed Humphrey, and it worked out there. You're not asking a whole lot from a center, and if you take a center in the first, you better be damn good. You kind of look at what the Vikings did with Garrett Bradbury. It looked like a safe pick, sure thing. Decent run blocking. Very disappointing in pass protection. So good player here. If you're taking him earlier in this, you better be sure he's good. He's a Pro Bowl center, or you better be sure he is playing guard at a high level, which I think he can. He's very, very talented. It's just how early do you take him? The Bengals would like to have him here. Dolphins looking for offensive line. Trevor Penning could be a plug and play at right tackle. The Northern Iowa kid. Long tackle, obviously. So the Dolphins still looking for more offensive linemen, trying to build around Tua, perhaps. Lions go Drake London, receiver from USC. So they grab another USC receiver to pair with Amon St. Brown. London is he's kind of one of those lengthy receivers that fits today's NFL. We're kind of going away from the big body lengthy receivers because usually they're just outside, run a go or comeback, make a contested catch or bust. London is not really that guy. He can be that guy, but there's a lot of just underneath plays and moves after the catch. Quick slants from USC to just one step, start to slant, get the ball. A lot of screen passes. See him get the ball back after back, plays back after back here. Impressive, pretty impressive. The Lions like to have another USC receiver there, I think, in Drake London. And Andrew Booth to the Chiefs. Solid playmaking corner there. The Chiefs could look to upgrade there. I think that's a good fit as well. Corners could start to fall a little bit. I kind of been preaching over the last several years. Some of you probably remember that. I'm not a big take a corner in the top 10 guy unless they're Jalen Ramsey. I don't think it's as important to a defense. Very important depending on the scheme, but as important as people make it out to be. And you see these defenses this year, the corner's not what's taking over. Some of these teams are hiding at corners, the weakest spot in their team. The Bills did a lot of this year. 49ers are doing it right now. The Buccaneers were doing it. A lot of, I can keep going on, a lot of other teams as well. So it's just more of the pass rushers, the interior run stopping, interior pressure, the unique freak athlete linebackers. It does wonders if you have a very good safety duo like the Bills. So maybe we start to see the corners start to drop. There's some really good corners that I didn't talk about that are still available. And I'm more of a corner in the second round type guy. If you can grab a good corner around here like the Chiefs with Andrew Booth, that's fantastic. But I'm more of these parts of past pick 25, 20, maybe for corners. So we'll see if that ends up being the case. I'm starting to see maybe teams thinking that way as well. So we'll see if I was on to something. But that is my updated mock. Felt pretty good about this one. And there's always different scenarios to go over. Let me know you guys' thoughts in the comments. Always talking on Twitter. A lot going on our Twitter with NFL updates. Like, subscribe, turn notifications on because we got full NFL coverage. The offseason content's already underway when it comes to free agency and the draft, trades, everything. So join us. Be much appreciated. Also much appreciated for you guys being here watching this video. It's going to do it. Goodbye.